One party everyone has ruled out working with is the far-right AfD. It lost votes in this election, but remains a dominant political force in two eastern German states. DW's Anja Koch went to the city of Görlitz to find out why so many people have latched onto the AfD's message.
Görlitz, in the far east of Germany, is a tourist hotspot. The cafes and restaurants bustling in the picturesque old town. It's also a stronghold of the alternative for Germany. Nearly 1 in 3 in this town of 50,000 people voted for the far-right party, its highest share of the vote anywhere. What makes it so popular here? I think a lot of people who rejected the current government were ill-informed. It was a protest vote. They feel they have to be against everything. The old East German states, the new federal states, have been neglected for years, and that shows up in people's frustrations. Their expectations have not been met. They're not getting what they think they should. Young people are also disillusioned. There's widespread dissatisfaction in Görlitz with what's happened since the reunification of Germany 3 decades ago. Aside from the scenically restored facades of the old town, there are many abandoned and decaying buildings. Unemployment is twice the national rate, and wages are the lowest in the country. Historically, coal mining has been the region's biggest industry. But Germany is phasing out coal, meaning the loss of thousands of jobs once seen as safe. The AfD has capitalized on that, attracting voters who feel left out and are fearful for the future. Let me make it clear that in this region, we are dealing with structural change, which has been forced on us. We believe that the coal-fired power station should remain in use for much longer. There's been a political decision to focus on 2038, but it's without any thought for the future. It's all highly questionable. Sociologist Raj Kolmorgan has observed the AfD in eastern Germany for years. He believes that a culture of protest and defensiveness has prevailed in Saxony for decades, also fueled by changes in society. The feeling of disillusionment and the desire to protest has grown. People think that nothing good comes out of Berlin, that the politicians are against them, that they have to stand up to them. Kolmorgan believes the AfD could in future attract between 20 and 40% of the vote. Places like Görlitz are the party's heartland. The right-wingers are here to stay.
And let's get more on that trend. We are joined now by DW Chief Political Correspondent Melinda Crane. Melinda, what's behind this split that the AfD is performing so well in the East, not the West?
That's right. In fact, the AfD had previously found some support in regions of the West that are also struggling with many of the destabilizing changes that were described in that report, with old industry jobs disappearing, with depopulation and uncertainty even on the part of families who are doing okay about whether their children will have it as good as they have. But a couple of things have taken a toll on support for the AfD in the West. First, there's less worry now than 4 years ago about immigration. That issue, which is very much an AfD issue, has taken a back seat, not least due to the fairly successful integration of many of the immigrants who arrived in 2015. Second, ongoing scandals and infighting within the AfD, combined with its failure to clearly distance itself from right-wing extremists, have driven away some Western voters. Not so in the East. Like right-wing populists in many other countries, the AfD is using the tools of identity politics to redefine itself as the voice of concerned or angry Easterners. And in the East, it's anything but a spent force.
Yeah, indeed. It's important to underscore the fact that we're not talking about your standard party here. Parts of it are, in fact, under surveillance because of those extreme right tendencies from some parts of the party. You know, Melinda, experts, and we heard in the piece there, some of them think that this party could be looking at netting up to 40% of the vote in the former East in future elections. What does this mean now going forward, not only for the new government, but also seeing as other parties have refused to work with the AFD?
Exactly. That leaves the AFD sidelined for at least the next 4 years, and it says it wants to use those 4 years to turn itself into a party that can enter into coalition with others. That's a big question mark, whether they succeed in that. But let's talk a little about what it means for the next government. They will need to demonstrate with deeds, not only with words, that they can deliver a bright and stable future, not only for the bicycle riding, highly educated, urban dwelling digital natives who voted for the Green Party and say that they want transformative change, especially in the area of climate policy, but also for the Germans we saw just now in that report, for Germans who are concerned that change could mean that they continue to see their families slide down the social scale. Now, the SPD, which quite likely will lead the next so-called traffic light coalition, that'd be a coalition between the Social Democrats with the color red, the Free Democrats who have the color yellow, and the Green Party. The SPD's message in this election was respect and social security, meaning, and this has the chancellor candidate has very much emphasized this, meaning that it wants to deliver jobs also not only for those green voters, but also for those who perhaps aren't as highly educated, for those who until now have worked in industry. And if Olaf Scholz means it when he says that respect is his central motto, then he definitely needs to deliver deeds that fulfill that promise.
Chief Political Correspondent Melinda Crane, thank you so much for those insights.